Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
And we have Greg and Sheila Fossen, our producers. We have Ernestine Garcia, who's going to be doing our affirmations and our reading. And we have the lovely, the most spectacular Robin Hackett, our special music today. If you're happy to get started, would you do an opening?
I would. So I just invite you to take a deep breath of the wonderful fresh air and let it fill your lungs, flow through your body, invigorate you. And so right here and right now, we know that there is only that one power, that one presence, that one life, that one ultimate intelligence that creates all that is. And we are one with that divine intelligence, one with each other, one with all that is. So I know we are also one with each other and one with the service today as it unfolds in absolute grace and in effortlessness and in ease, and that each person hears what is theirs to hear. And that which is said is what is to be said this day. And so in an absolute gratitude for this time together, for this amazing awareness of the truth of our being, I just release this word, I let it go, I allow it to be, and together we all say, and so it is.
All right, let's get started with our musical guest, Robin, and see what she's got planned for us today.
Yay. Yes, let's raise our voices and joy. You guys will pick up to this song easily if you don't know it already. We are one in the spirit of love. We are one in the spirit of love. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the spirit of love. Joy. We are one in the spirit of joy. We are one in the spirit of joy. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the spirit of joy. Peace. We are one in the spirit of peace. We are one in the spirit of peace. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the spirit of peace. We are one in the spirit of love. We are one in the spirit of love. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the spirit of love.
Woo-hoo! Thank you for that great reminder.
That's right.
It's always good to know what we're here to be, one with the spirit of love and peace and harmony.
That's right.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So, got some stuff to
Yeah, like us and check in on Facebook at CSL North Metro. Go check out our website at cslnorthmetro.org. You can go to contact us and add yourself to the email list. You can go to prayer request and send us a request and we'll pray on it all week. And the affirmations that we read for the week and an affirmative prayer that Stephan also writes are out there. And we're due for a new blog, so we'll probably get that up this week as well. So if you shop on Amazon and you're not supporting another nonprofit, please do go to Amazon Smile and select CSL North Metro as your charity, and then when you shop, we'll get paid.
Yay.
And today's title is
Circuitous.
Circuitous?
Yes.
Circuitous Path.
Say that 5 times fast.
I couldn't say it once. And you already heard from our guest artist, Robin Hackett. And our reading today is from The Art of Uncertainty by Dennis Merritt Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's it for me.
So, Ernestine.
Yes.
It's Ernestine time.
Yes.
There she is.
It's such a joy to read these affirmations that Stephan puts together for us. Affirmations for the week of October 10th, 2021. Please repeat after me. The love in my heart touches everyone I meet.
The love in my heart touches everyone I meet.
I commit myself to my passions fearlessly because I know the universe supports me.
I commit myself to my passions fearlessly because I know the universe supports me.
The vibration of Spirit's light and wisdom exists within me always.
The vibration of Spirit's light and wisdom exists within me always.
I recognize myself in the shared oneness with everyone I encounter.
I recognize myself in the shared oneness with everyone I encounter.
The unlimited source of good manifests through me.
The unlimited source of good manifests through me.
I relax into the embrace of my divine essence.
I relax into the embrace of my divine essence.
Together we say,
and so it is.
Okay, the reading is from The Art of Uncertainty by Dennis Merritt Jones. Those who insist on knowing the whys and hows of everything are not generally happy, healthy, and peaceful individuals. Their need to know is driven by fear and insecurity, not inspiration. The earthbound part of us cherishes the illusion that there is security in knowing what the future holds. Attachment to this illusion keeps us stuck in the zone of the known as we succumb to its voice of seeming logic and reason. That voice presents a compelling case for not ever taking the risk of leaving the nest of the known and for avoiding change at all costs. The minute we yield to that voice and make the fear-based choice to settle for our current conditions, irrespective of how comfortable we are in an intangible but vital part of us begins to wither and die because its divine purpose is not being honored. That part of us is our soul. In the book Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes states, "Nature will not let us stay in any one place too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul. This is a wise provision, for should we stay there too long, we would become too set, too rigid, too inflexible. Nature demands change in order that we may advance." And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
That's wonderful.
We have another song from Robin.
Ew.
Yes, you do.
All right.
This song's about growth and change.
It's a good thing.
Up from the ashes, awake from your sleep. Who'd have believed that you'd rise to see that it's so perfect, the laughter and the pain, and there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. But I saw you wonder, and I saw you down. You think you were lost, but now you are found. And it's so amazing to see you and there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. And in between summer and winter, there lies the promise of spring. And teardrops are raindrops in season. And you're growing, and you're growing, and you're growing. Oh, I saw you stumble, and I saw you fall. Look at you now, you've come through it all. And it's all so perfect, the laughter and the pain. And there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. There's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain. Yeah, there's nothing more beautiful than a flower in the rain.
Wow.
Thank you so much. That was just so beautiful.
So appropriate.
Yeah, exactly what we needed to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll do our thing, and we'll be back to you shortly.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
It was magnificent.
Flower in the rain.
That's why I forgot to stand up. I was still in it.
Camera caught us.
That's right.
A Circuitous Path. I'm reminded, I used to hike, well, I still do hike, but not as much as I used to. When I lived in Grand Junction, I used to hike the National Monument. And I can remember this one time taking this path, and I came to this place where it seemed like it went two different directions. So I took one direction, I can't remember which one, but it took me like through this weird place, and I ended up right back at where I started on the path. So I took this circuitous path. If I'd have just stayed on the other one, I'd have been a lot further up the road. But you know, sometimes we need to take a circuitous path in our spiritual journey, because one of the most important things we can practice all the time is to remind ourselves that beyond all the physical experiences we have in life, the truth is we're on a spiritual path. We move from one divine aha to the next divine aha. And it's through this physical plane that we learn these things. But we have to remind ourselves constantly that, yes, it's a spiritual path. This thing that I'm going through is affecting me physically, but what's more important is I'm on this spiritual path. And we learn from being in the physical world by the process of negative and positive, of this and that, of up and down, of love and hate, good and bad. You can go on and on and on. We live in a world of opposites, and we learn from opposites. If we didn't sense pain, we wouldn't know the joy of being healthy and prosperous and perfect in our creation. If we didn't know down times, we wouldn't know up times. If we didn't experience hate, we may not know what love is. And this is something that, as humans, having a spiritual beings having a human experience, we need to learn to embrace. So important to embrace that. When I was thinking about this talk, I was brought back to a time where I was going through something, and I had this job. I had a neighbor who was a really nice guy, and I needed some work, and he was a contractor. So he says, "I can work for me. I'll give you plenty of work." And I did, and he would allow me to take days off because I was following the path to be an actor. So I would need times during the day to go on auditions. So he was so good about that. He was good about everything. So one of the things I liked doing in construction was the demolition. And people would stay away from me when I would do demolition because I just loved tearing things down and breaking things up. It was a release for me. So I was running this jackhammer one day, having a ball running it, and all of a sudden I felt pop in my back, and I could not move. And my boss came running over to me. He's a friend too. He says, "Are you all right?" And I said, "I don't think so." And he says, "Well, don't worry about it. I got insurance. Go ahead, file it. I won't. I've paid for this for so long. I want you to go ahead and do everything you need to take care of yourself." And so I did, and started working with a chiropractor. And I got so itchy and antsy because I wanted to do something. I was stuck at home, and I was worried about money. And I concentrated all my prayer on healing and getting back to work. And it was funny because I needed to do something beyond that. So I thought, well, I can go to my church and see if there's any service I can do. So I knew this woman who worked in the education department, and asked her if she needed any help, and she said, "Yeah, I could use a lot of help." So I started doing service there, and it was funny because while I was there, I felt like I was on a direct path to fulfilling myself. And as soon as I go away, I get back into the worry of not making money and being in pain. And so it was one path felt like direct, and the other path felt circuitous. And so the prayer was healthy and it was helping, but I still needed more. So I went to my practitioner. I said, I'm going through this thing, and I worry, and I'm in pain, and I just want to get better. And she says, "Well, what are you praying for?" I said, "Well, I'm praying to get better and to go back to work." And she says, "No, what are you praying for?" I said, "Well, I'm praying to heal and to get my job back." And she laughed. She says, "No, what's underneath what you're praying for?" I said, "I just want peace of mind and be happy." So there's your prayer. That's where you need to go, because you're putting so much pressure on trying to get back to your work and getting healed instantly that you're forgetting what is really being called forth, and that's your peace of mind and your happiness. And so I continued to do my work and do my prayer, but it seemed like something was released by just changing what I was praying for, released something within me that I didn't feel the pressure any longer. And what was really interesting is that what seemed to be circuitous is now felt direct, that I had this direct route to wherever I was going, and it didn't matter where I was going because I was open for anything. So it turned out later on that the woman that I was doing service with, she was doing it part-time, and the church needed a full-time person, and she just couldn't do it because she had 2 kids and it just didn't work out for her. So she said, "Michael, would you like my job?" And I said, "Yeah." And it's just all, I know beyond a shadow of doubt, it was all because I changed what I was praying for. And even though I was still in pain, I did get work, and it was work that I could do because I sat at a computer doing entries and that kind of stuff all day long. And it was just such a wonderful example in my life, because what we need to do is use our own lives to prove to ourselves that these teachings work. And when something like what I just shared with you happens in your life, you never forget it, because it becomes more about what you learned from it than the actual experience, more about my finding happiness and releasing of the pressure that I put on myself, more of the journey that it took me to go through. And that was, for me, what a circuitous path is.
Plus, you got to stay in the church all day in that amazing energy of healing.
And plus, it was awesome because they had these little chimes in all the offices, and every hour on the hour, the chime would go off, and we would go. The whole everybody that worked there would go within, no matter what they were doing, if they were with a client or whatever. We'd just go in for 3 minutes, be still, and then come back out till the next hour. Mm-hmm. So it was a wonderful lesson. And again, it wasn't about the experience. It was about my spiritual awakening. I was awoken to something that I didn't even know existed, but it was always there within me. All I had to do was be reminded and to be taught.
And open. Because you could have been reminded and you could have been taught, but if you weren't open to receiving, then, because I think of that guy that asks for a prayer every week, and as soon as we get done with the prayer, he'd go right back into but. It's like, you just undid that prayer, dude. So we would do it again, and if we don't acknowledge that we're changing that energy when we do that prayer, that we're really open to this thing being and happening and doing and becoming more of who we came here to be, regardless of how many prayers we get. If we just go right back to the same thoughts and the same actions, it isn't going to work. So it really takes that openness and that accepting and that work to do that.
And to find, no matter what you're going through, to find that quality that you're seeking, and not the things that you're wanting or the experience you're wanting.
Right.
Well, the experience you're wanting is the quality. So it's an important part of your spiritual practice is to go within and find out what you really want to pray for. And at that time, it was for peace of mind and happiness, not to get better all of a sudden so I can go back to the same job. That's where my mind was.
Right.
If I just pray for it, I'll get it. I'll pray for it. Getting instantly healed and going back to the same job, doing the same work, which was never going to happen because my back was in the same place.
Right. And that's a lot of the reason why we say this or something better when we do the treatment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I was just thinking how similar my path was when I had been searching for a spiritual home for a really long time. And, it's like I felt like I needed to be going to church, and I'd go and it's like, nah, not this one. No, not this one. And I even had gone to the center where Reverend Michael was the minister before he was the minister and stayed a little while and realized, no, it's not here either. And then we met through a circuitous route. This is a story. And it's like everything in me knew this is it, and now it's time to be here. And I know most of us have a story like this where we sit down and the music starts playing and the minister starts talking, and I started opening and I just sat there and cried like for a long time. And then the first time there was a class, I started taking classes, and it absolutely changed my life, and it changes everybody's life who does that. And then we've had a few people who come to Foundations class and they get the opportunity to open, and you can just see them choose not to, and they drop out of class. And it's kind of sad because you were right there, and all you had to do was say yes to the moment, and yes to the learning, and yes to the cracking open. And some people say yes, and some people go, I'm hoping it was just not yet for her.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the law of impermanence. So everything is changing all of the time. Everything around us is changing all of the time. And this is a really good time of year to notice all those changes around us, because our grass is turning brown, although our grass was brown a lot this summer too, because it was changing this summer. It was so much hotter, and the leaves are starting to turn and fall. And sometimes in our lives, we think things just need to stay the same, especially when something's good. We think, oh, well, if I just hang on to this, well, it'll stay good. And I love that part in the reading where Ernest Holmes talks about not being able to stay in that place, because we always have to be expanding and growing, and that if we don't, then our soul begins to wither. And so so as we're going through our lives, we do come across things like getting hurt, or things like unexpectedly having a job eliminated, or other changes that happen with our health, or with new family members, or with needing to take care of a family member, or all kinds of things happen. And we can get stuck on trying to keep things the same, trying to stay balanced and keep things the same, and trying to make sure we just never quite lose it. And that keeps us.
We just had
My phone is listening to me.
Alexa just told us that she didn't understand that.
I thought she needs foundations. I thought I had it off, but obviously.
No,
Weird. So I kind of lost my train of thought here. Hang on. So the energy that is the divine never changes, but the form is always changing. So what we're going through is always changing, and what we're learning is always changing, and how we're being is always changing. And I can't remember who said it, but they talked about how when we resist that change that's coming, that change that we know needs to happen, that's when we suffer. And so we can hold on to what we think is the status quo and what we think is really good for us. And that's when we suffer, because we're here to learn and to grow and to become more and to understand more and to deepen. And so I can think of times in my own life when I knew it was time to make a big change and I just wasn't ready to do it. And in the holding on to the thing that was really already gone, I just hadn't recognized it yet. I did suffer. And I can remember particularly a job that I had that I felt like I'd finally made it. It's like I got the corner office, I got a big title, I got a big paycheck. I wasn't happy. I was working, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I wasn't seeing my family. I was stressed out. But I had worked so hard for that title. And I had started my spiritual path at that time. And so when my job was eliminated, I recognized, I didn't make the choice when I needed to, and now I get the kick in the butt, or the 2x4, whichever one you want to call it, because that's what happens when we don't make the change. We can take the knock on the door, or we can take the little voice that says, or we can wait for the 2x4. And in several cases, I've waited for the 2x4, and it's much more pleasant not to wait for that. Mm-hmm. And even as I was going through that, I knew it was the right thing. I knew it was time for me to go. I knew I had more to do, and I had bigger and better things to do than that job that I had worked so hard for, that I was allowing to define me. Mm. And that the weirdest thing about that is other people had allowed it to define me too. So I discovered that the person who wanted me to join this particular club really wanted the vice president of the bank to join the club, not me. Or a board I was on used to introduce me as she used to be, as opposed to she is. And
that's rude.
It was rude. And I was able to recognize that we put labels on ourselves, and other people put labels on us as well. And all of those things keep us stuck. And so it's when those things are happening, it's time to take the next step and do the next thing. And I know I've talked about this before, but when we started visioning for my next job, and you said, now you need to understand when you start visioning, it might not be anything like what you think it's going to be when you get the job. I'm like, okay, that's right. And so, I'm going to banks and I'm doing the stuff I know how to do. And I've been, like you, volunteering since I walked in the front door. And it seems like every time there's something else to do, it's like, oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll do that. And the administrator had to take a leave of absence. And so guess who it was that got the job? Because I was already doing most of it. And so when we open to what Spirit has in mind for our growth and for that expression that is us, that's so much more than just this body. That's so much more than just the humanness. That is really awakening to the divine within. Then we get the opportunities to continue to grow and do the thing that expands us and creates love and creates peace, and survive and make money and do the things we're here to do.
Mm-hmm. I just want to go back over the meaning of circuitous. I found two different definitions. One said of a route or journey longer than the most direct way. And think about those times where you got on this path that was taking you. You insisted that this is the way to go, and it took you so much longer to get there than if you just released, let go, and allowed yourself to be brought forth instead of making it come forth.
Yes.
And the other definition is having a circular or winding course. And I don't know about you, but I'm sure there's things that you can relate to where you get in this little thing that just keeps you taking round and round, doing the same thing over and over again, but nothing's changing. Doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing's changing. And sometimes we just have to hit ourselves in the head with the 2x4, because I've done plenty of that in my life. But when we get conscious, when we understand that no matter where we're going, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we crave, there's always something better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, what does it mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
What does this experience mean to me? And how can I grow from it? How can I become more of who and what I am? A divine child of God, a perfect expression of the Most High. Perfection that I am is always closer to my breath or near my hands and feet.
Yes.
And it just takes one moment for you to remind yourself, this is a spiritual path, and this is my opportunity to grow and expand and become more of who I already am.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The Native Americans say one can never stand in the same river twice, because everything is changing in the river. The water's not the same, and it's all changing all the time. And so if we just begin to realize that everything around us is changing, whether we think we're changing or not,
Right.
we just have that opportunity to wake up.
We always have that moment. Whatever you're going through, in the midst of it all, just remind yourself, this experience is part of my spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something in it for me to grow and evolve, because we're this light energy, and this light energy is always evolving, always expanding, and we either go with it or we fight it until we're forced into it. And I think the choice is to just allow yourself to be, and to know that your journey is sacred, holy, and divine all the time.
So Thich Nhat Hanh says, what makes us suffer is wanting things to be permanent when they are not. And he also said, no, this is it, Tao Te Ching. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When I let go of what I have, I receive what I need.
Read that again.
When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be.
Mm.
When I let go of what I have, I receive what I need.
Mm. That's a good note.
All right. So
just take that into your center and contemplate it as we pray together.
So once again, I just invite you to breathe in that deep breath of life. Breathing in that oneness, that allness, that isness. Breathing out anything that might be going on, anything in your body, anything in your thoughts, anything in your feelings. Just releasing everything as we're taking that breath in and taking that breath out. And just recognizing the beating of our heart, the oneness that we stand in. That we are one with the one with the divine presence that is beauty and joy and peace and light. It is omnipotent, omnipresent, omnipowerful, and always in this moment right now, everywhere, everything, all the time. Everything we can see, everything we can touch, everything we can feel, everything we intuit. It's all that one power and that one presence. Every single time we look at another person, we're looking at an aspect of ourselves because there's only this one thing going on. And that breath that the divine breathes in and breathes out, and that we are understanding our oneness, our allness, our isness. And so I know for each one of us that as we breathe in and breathe out, we are breathing in the love and breathing in the peace and breathing in the power and breathing in the everything that we need. And we're letting go of all of those thoughts and feelings that no longer serves us and just being in that space where we understand that the divine is always present, guiding us forward into our greater yet to be, always there to propel us into that which we came here to be, as we just let go of the humanness and understand that the divine essence ourselves, that we are always fulfilled and always taken care of. And so I absolutely, in gratitude, release this word and pass it to Reverend Michael.
Thank you. And accepting these words that have been spoken before me, I know that the truth of every individual who's tuned in to this service today is the perfection of God is right where you are. And if there's anything that you want or desire in your life right at this moment, let's take this moment and claim for ourselves, I am whatever that is that you desire. Claim it for yourselves. And know that it's truly right there, right now. There's nothing you have to obtain. It's nothing that you have to grasp, for it is already present within you. And I join you in calling forth that desire into your experience on this physical plane. And as I know this truth, that each desire is God's desire, it is my desire that there's peace where there's conflict, that there's abundance where there's lack and limitation, where there's joy where there's unhappiness. I know this true for every individual on this planet.
Yes.
I know it true for the planet and the stars and the universe, because it's all God all the time. And so it is with such deep gratitude, knowing that these words have power and they're already fulfilling themselves, that I can now let go, saying thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you. And from this place of absolute thanksgiving, I know it is done. So I release, I let go, I let God. And together we say,
And so it is. Aho, amen, amen, and woo-hoo!
I woke up this morning and I opened up my eyes and I stared out the window, and what to my surprise was a snow-covered hill and the earth standing still for all to see. And I said to myself, what a precious world I'm in, where each moment is a lifetime and a new life can begin. And we have a vision, the light and the life that never ends. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe. And I do believe. So hold in your heart all that you desire, and what you never wanted, let it burn in the fire, 'cause you have the power to plant any flower and watch it bloom. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe. And I do believe. Yes, I do believe. And I do believe. Yes, I do believe. Believe.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful way of being a singing teacher. And I so appreciate. Did you write that song? Who was that by?
Oh, no, I wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This does it all.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be right back for our last song. So
All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So, want to do this?
Yeah. This is our sacred giving time. We ask you to check within yourself and see in your heart if there's something that you got from the service and you'd like to give back. Then here's your opportunity. You can just join this divine sacred circulation of the heart by giving. Valerie?
So you can give by, if you have Venmo, you can use the QR code right on the screen. There's a couple ways to give at the bottom of the screen. The easiest way is to go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org. And right on the front page, if you scroll down just a little bit, there are a couple ways to give right there. And we take checks and cash too. So, all right.
So just shine your energy towards this basket and see it symbolically filling
Mhm.
as we give thanks by you repeating after what I say. Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you for this opportunity to give.
Thank you for this opportunity to give.
Thank you for all the blessings in my life.
Thank you for all the blessings in my life.
I give out of thanksgiving,
I give out of thanksgiving.
knowing my word is so.
Knowing my word is so.
I let it be,
I let it be.
and so it is.
And so it is.
Okay. So, one last song.
You may wonder what your world is coming to, with all the ups and downs that you've been through. But there's more than the eye can see. There's the truth in your divinity. So be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. When those clouds roll in, don't you worry none. Before you know it, you'll be up with the sun. And on, this world goes round and round. But in the chaos, there's something to be found. So be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Don't you worry about the rain upon your shoulders. Don't you worry if the sun don't shine. Don't you worry if there's enough for tomorrow. For if you go inside, you will see you are a shining light. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know. Be still and know.
Yay. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I want to thank each and every one of you who served today for the service. Greg and Sheila, Ernestine, Robin, thank you so much for showing up and blessing all those who have tuned in to our service. I know that your service will come back to you multiplied in goodness and beauty. So let us close our eyes now for this final benediction. So very grateful for this time we've shared together, knowing that we each received exactly what we needed to hear or experience, and we carry that into this next week. I know that each individual who has participated in this service today in any way is uplifted and brings that consciousness upliftment into the world, touching many others, being the bright light that you came here to be, being the joyful, beautiful experience of spirit that you are. So I surround you with light and love, knowing that all is in perfect order all the time. I give thanks, and together we say, and so it is.
So I also want to remind everybody to join us on Zoom following the service.
We're Zoom today. We'll go to San Francisco.
Well, I still thought we were going to do the Zoom.
Oh, okay, I'm on.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, that's fine. I just thought we were.
I didn't.
Okay. Well then.
These things happen when you're moving through life. So it's all good. And we thank, once again, yeah, it's the Circuitous Path. Thank you, Greg. Okay, so say goodbye. Gracie.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Bye. See you next time, Robin. See you next time,
Bye.
Rusty.
Yeah, thank you.